Well, it's time this Ford Explorer got to get some new shocks. I'm going to do the rear shocks today. I only got 2 shocks here. The front ones I'm going to wait on. Fortunately, I couldn't get the electronic auto adjust air ride shocks like the ones in the back that this thing has. So what I had to do is get something equivalent. And so I purchased these Sensatrack shock absorbers from Monroe, and it's got the same mounting style, roughly the same width, similar length. These are just a tad bit wider, or not wider, a tad bit longer. It's about I think a ½ inch or so, but this will have to do. All right, after one Pepsi, about an hour or so, I got the bottom bolt off. That thing worked great, and the bolt wasn't not rusted too much. So I'm gonna go ahead and hammer that out, and I got this jacked up on that one side, so this shouldn't drop on me. Alright, look at how slow that thing comes out. That's easy to push on, and then this one, not so easy. This one, oh yeah, that shock absorber is definitely going to work in here. This one's only just a little bit wider than this, but that thing has so much more force. Oh yeah, the little airbag or something is really bad, because when you push on it, it's not supposed to make that noise, and it's not coming out of here. Oh yeah, as for the driver's side shock absorber, I have some fun taking that off. I might have to take this thing out. I don't know what this is. That was easy. Can always be tightened again. I'm going on a little road trip and then test it. But I'm not going to do the road trip until I get the other one done. Alright, time to do the top, and then I'm just going to sit this thing down and see how it looks on this side. It should be up higher. I want to test that and make sure it looks good before I do that shock. Oh, okay. That was easier going in than taking the fucking thing out. Okay. I showed you I got that end bolted in. That should be real snug. I hit it a few times with the impact wrench. And then I got the 2 bolts up there real tight. Tighter than the factory bolts. Those actually came out really easy. That was actually kind of scary. I'm surprised they even held in there. So that's taken care of. Now I'm going to go ahead and lower this peg down and see how that side sits. Alright, yeah, all the shock's in. I just lowered this thing to test how that side sits, but really, it's hard to tell because I still have one bad shock, and just doing one shock really isn't going to make much of a difference. It made a little difference. This has more spring on this side, but this side here, I have to take this shock off and then put the other new one on, and then we'll really be able to tell how much better it sits. If it still sits a little bit lower, then that is what happens when you put aftermarket shocks instead of the real OEM ones. So from what I can tell, that side just sits about the same. So when I put the new shocks in the front, it'll bring that down just a tiny bit, and then it'll really be level. Alright, I got the driver's side shock absorber out. This one's actually even worse. I can easily push on that. It's still got some resistance. Then press on this. Ugh, I can't even press on it. Alright, time to put it back in. Do I have any dirt on my face? A little bit. Alright. That shock absorber is in. Nice and tight up there. I just have to do this one nut here. I guess I'll go ahead and show you. Okay. Wow, I keep getting cramps. That should, excuse me, that should be in real good. Like I said, for that side, I'll give it a test drive and make sure everything's all good. It's not gonna come loose. I couldn't even get it off with this little wrench here, so why should it come off? All done. I'm not gonna put the spare back in yet. I'm gonna go for a test drive first. Well, this is a 3 Pepsi job for me. Now I gotta clean my glasses. So, this is a bad shock. Bad shock. We've got new shocks. I did find a few tears in the bag, little airbags, so when it sits down low, it just loses its effectiveness. So now, go ahead and move all this stuff out of the way. Looks nice with those things up there. Now, I don't know how well this will sit now. I'm hoping that it'll be a little bit more level. And it should have plenty of effectiveness. Alright, here's the moment of truth. Raise this up and just pull that jack out and lower it again. Well, I just took this thing for a test drive and it's got a big improvement on the smoothness of the back end. I'm still sitting about the same as the seems to do with the old shocks, but I was kind of expecting that to happen, but it's not because the shocks are too weak. It's just because, well, they're not really designed for this Explorer with the air ride control. It's a little bit different, but it works. I don't know when I'll do the front. Probably in the next couple weeks or maybe a couple months. But at least I got the back end done. That one was really bad. And then with the ARC switch, with that switch to off, I started up the car, and it didn't really bitch at me. It just said air ride switch off, and then you hit reset and it just clears that and doesn't tell you again until you turn the car back on. So I've got new shocks in the back and just waiting to do the front. But man, when I get the front shocks in, this thing's gonna be nice. Bye bye.